All right. Well, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today we're going to review how to do Chapter 12. We're going to have a Chapter 12 test. Let's pay attention. In this, and for the first problem, in fact, problems 1 to 4, it wants you to use the jumping jacks line plot. It says, use the following line plot that shows the number of jumping jacks students completed in 30 seconds. It asks, what is the median? Now let's write some notes on this because you can use this paper to help you on other things later on. The median is your middle number. So we have to count which one is in the middle. So you start at the bottom on both ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to be a 20. So that one's really easy. Our answer is 20. The mode is the number that occurs the most. Which number occurred the most? All right, write the word most above mode. Now this one, what is the peak? The peak is the highest. Which one is the peak? 20. It's not the highest value, it's the highest amount, or the one with the most in it. The peak is B, 20. Now, which of the following best describe the data? Is it symmetric? No. Is it not symmetric? Yes. If it's not symmetric, it's not symmetric. Is there a gap? No, not from 15 to 25. The gap is at 30. Right at 30. Gap at 30. Is the range 10? No. The range is 35 minus 15. The range is 20. Okay, so let's write down what the range is. Now, what does symmetric look like? It would look like the same. Whatever on one side is the same on the other. Okay, that would be something. It would be symmetric, where you could fold it and it would match in there. There is one other thing that we have. They didn't find the mean, did they? Let's just write down what you would have to do to find the mean. Let's do this up here. The mean of this data. You have to add these all together and divide by however many x's, right? So we have 4 15s. 4 x's. What are 4 15s? 60. I'm going to put a 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are 5 20s? 100. What are 2 25s? And 1 35. Now I'm going to add these together, so it's going to be 100 plus 60 plus 50 plus 35. It's much easier doing it in groups than to do each one singly. So that's 5. 6 and 5 is 11, plus 3 is 14. So we have 245. The mean is 245, but we're not finished. Divided by how many x's? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not this, it's not 4, it's the number of x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so 245 divided by 12. 2 times, subtract, bring down, add a decimal point and a 0. How many 12s? 4. I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know next week. And we're just going to stop there at 20.4. So my mean is 20.4. Okay, it's just a little bit bigger than the 20. If you rounded it to the whole number, it would be 20. Okay? Now, Let's go on. Number 4 we said was G. In problem number 5, which of the following is an appropriate display to show the scores on an eye test arranged in intervals? Okay, this is the giveaway. What has intervals, kids? Which one of these has intervals? Histogram has intervals. The answer is D. When do you use a line graph? When it deals with time. You use a line graph with time. That would be like days, hours, minutes, years. Any questions on when to use a line graph? Circle graphs you use with percents usually. You use those with when they talk about a percentage of something. Bar graph is very specific, like favorite foods, like specific votes for favorite foods. That's when you would have a bar graph. Any questions? Could you all get those 5 problems right now if they were asked? Or 6, we went over and did a few more. Let's go on now to number 6 and 7. Here we have a box plot. So go ahead and look at that box plot. I'm going to walk around the room to see how many of you did it, and then I'll come back. We're on the box plot, problem number 6. Whiskers contain what fraction, and then we'll talk about the percent of the data. It's cut up into 4 pieces. We have this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece. Each piece is a fourth, or 25%. 25% of the data is on this whisker. 25% on this side of the median. 25% on that. You're going to say, but they're different sizes. This just has a lot more numbers in this place than here. They're spread out more on this side. And there's 25% on that piece. All right? Now, knowing this, what percent is in the box? What percent of the data would be located in the box? 50%. 25 plus 25 is 50% is in the whole box. You got that? Remember it. If they ask for fractions, what's the fraction for 25%? 25% is a fourth. 50% is a half. Okay? Just to remember that. Now, what is the interquartile range? That is Q3 minus Q1. Q3 minus Q1. This is Q1. This is Q3, and the median is in the middle. All right? So we're going to have 90 minus 20, and your interquartile range is 70. You should have F. Any questions on how to get F? In number 7, what percent of the homes were on the market more than 40 days? So what percent? Here's 40. What percent is more than 40? So it goes from here to here. What's that percent going to be? 50%. 25 plus 25 is 50%. B. Now I'm going to add a few more questions to this point, at this point here. Let's do what percent of the houses were on the market more than 20 days? What percent were on the market more than 20 days? Allie. How much? 75%. That's correct, 75%. Because here's 20, it's 25 plus 25 plus 25. All right, I'm going to ask this question. What percent less than 20 days? 25%. What's less than 20? Just the whisker, and that's 25%. Any questions on how to interpret data on a box and whisker plot? Everyone okay? Thumbs up on this? It's pretty easy. It's not that hard. Now let's go to the back. Number 8. Which price range has the least frequency? That means the shortest bar. Which one has the shortest bar? $80 to $99. That has the shortest bar, so the answer is I. Okay? How many calculators cost less than $600? Or $60, excuse me, $60. This is 60 to 79, so it's got to be less than that. It's going to be those three right there. So on this one, it's going to be 10 plus 11 plus 8. And that will give you what? C, 29. Any questions on that? Now, let's say you don't remember how to do the problem where it says which data display uses intervals. It tells you in the questions, kids, histogram. Well, you can see their intervals. You know, oh, I need to make sure I get the answers right. For these graphs, a lot of times in the directions, it'll tell you what they describe the graph to you so you would know what type it is. Now let's look at number 10. The line graph shows the number of greeting cards in thousands over several years. Well, several years is time, so yep, it's a line graph. And it's not individuals, it's in the thousands, okay? Pay attention to the thousands. That's going to be important when you choose your multiple choice answer. All right, so if the trend continues, what is the best prediction for the number of cards that will be created in 2014? Well, I'm just going to extend this and think about. So I have 2012, 2013, 2014. And each interval is 2. Notice how each box is 2. And it goes up a little more than a box, doesn't it? So a box is 2. So by 12, let's say it's at 16, plus 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20, and plus 2 will be 22. Now, which number is closest to 22?
23.
Now, am I going to use 23 or 23,000?
23,000.
That's right, because it's in thousands. The answer is going to be F. That's on the test. They do things like that to you. It's tricky, but be careful and you should be okay. In the next problem, there is a problem like this on the test, but it doesn't have decimals, which makes it a little bit easier. We have to put these in order from little to big and then find our Q1. Q2 is the same thing as the median, and Q3. Okay? The range and the interquartile range. What do you need? What? No, right now we have to do this. You can clean your desk later. So let's put these in order from little to big. Is 8 2/10 the smallest? 8.2. Then it goes to, is it 8.4? Write these down. Is it 8.8 next? No, 8.7. 2 8.8s. 2 8.9s. Then I go to the 9s. 9 1/10, 9 2/10. Write these down. 9 3/10, 9 5/10. It is. And is the last one 9 6/10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Now, I got to find my middle numbers. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're both the same. So my median is 8 9/10. Rhonda, just go sit out in the hallway so you're not distracting other people from learning. Now we're going to find the middle number in each group. We have the lower group, and when you have two middle numbers, one goes to the lower group and one goes to the upper group. Okay, now Q1 is the middle number in the lower group. We have two of them. Halfway between 8 7/10 and 8.8 is 8.75. 8.75. Now we have to look for our middle number in the upper group. It's going to be 9.25. That's your Q3. Any questions? Our range is 9.6 minus 8.2. So under range, let's subtract 9.6 minus 8 2/10. The range is 1 4/10. The interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. So you're going to have 9.25 minus 8.75. It's 0.5. Any questions? On the next, now we have to draw a box plot. So, for the box plot, I'm going to start with my median. It's 8.9. This is 8.9. 8.75 is the left end of the box. That's 8.5. 8.75 is right there. Logan, why are you turning around? The information is in front of you, Logan. Let's write this down. 9 2500 is going to be in between the 9, and that's 9.5, so it's right in the middle of that. This is a small box. Create the box. Now we have to do the whiskers. They are the extreme. The extreme lower value is 8.2. And draw your whisker. My extreme upper value is 9.6. Above, that's right above that 9.5 mark. Draw the whisker. And we have our box and whisker. Are there any questions? Okay. Now in the last problem, it says which type of display would you use to show this result? This is one.
Do you have recycling?
I don't have any right now. Thank you. So on this, are you going to use a box plot? Are you going to use a line graph? Are you going to use a bar graph? Or a histogram? Which one of these graphs would you use for this favorite sport? Yes. a bar graph, because it's like people's favorite things is one of those things that you would go, it's a statistical question that has multiple answers, so that would be a bar graph. Okay, now, I'm going to go ahead and give you this other paper. You need to save it because we'll go over this on Monday.